Am I the asshole for letting my son, Manscape, when my wife doesn't want him to? I'll try to keep it short. My wife and I have 3 boys, 17, 16, and 14. May the Lord have mercy on my soul. Actually, they are good guys. I was at Target with my youngest, Tanner. We split for a while and he shows back up asking if he could buy something with his own money. It was a beard trimmer. I laughed and told him he didn't need that yet. He explained nope, not for his face, he wanted it for downstairs. His older brothers both Manscape and he wanted to as well. But they wouldn't loan their trimmers. I told him sure, I'd even buy it for him. Got home and wife was not impressed. She didn't want him to have it. One excuse after the other. He's not old enough. Sure he is. He didn't need it yet. Okay, true, he's not exactly taming the jungle, more like a small hedge, but if he wants to neaten things up that's fine by me. I don't want more hair all over their bathroom. Non-issue. The boys keep their bathroom clean. While me, Tanner, and the oldest Liam are pretty smooth, middle boy Lucas somehow got the gorilla gene. He was Sasquatch at 14. If he's not causing a problem, no one will. I told him he could keep the trimmer but wife seems pursed. I did remind him to keep the bathroom free of little hairs. Get brothers to help, advise if needed, or me. And don't make the mistake of going all Kojak below the belt. Liam made that mistake a couple of years ago. With much itching. So am I the asshole for disregarding my wife's opinion? Not the asshole. Your son wants to do it, and it's harmless, it's just hair. It would be nice if your wife would come clean with the actual reason she's opposed. Does she regularly inspect that area and wants it looking natural? If not, all of her stated reason are specious. Does he have pubes? Then he can decide for himself if he wants to trim. I don't even know why this would be an issue. Not the asshole. Totally not the asshole. So your son wants to be well groomed. What's wrong with that? If both of his brothers do it, then your wife shouldn't have a problem with it. Plus, he offered to buy with his own money. You're just being a good father buying it for him. Not the asshole. I was 11 and was shaving downstairs without guidance. I was in early puberty and the hairs were embarrassing. I made mistakes along the way with no one to ask for assistance. Thank you for supporting your child. Not the asshole. I don't know why your wife has such strong feelings about her child's pubic hair, honestly. Not the asshole. That was a huge moment of trust in you as a parent. Don't make this something that closes him down tomorrow. Am I the asshole for not helping my boyfriend after he had a car accident? My boyfriend was in a car accident. He broke his left leg, ankle and forearm, and he'll be out of commission for at least 9 months. Overall he's okay and I'm glad and thankful for it. So why aren't you helping him? Because I said I wouldn't and I'm sticking to my guns, but it's getting harder to do so every day. You see, my boyfriend is a reckless driver. He eats, drinks, not alcohol, doesn't like beer or spirits, and is always on his cell phone whenever he's driving. It's been a point of contention ever since I met him to point that I've either taken the wheel or left him and taken an Uber home because I didn't felt safe. Ironically, he's never been stopped or gotten a ticket over it. So why did you said you weren't going to help him? About 3 months ago, we were coming back from a weekend getaway, and while he was driving, he was watching a race on cell phone, a race. I offered to take the wheel so he could enjoy it but said no. We got into a huge fight and it ended when I said that if he were to get into an accident, no matter how bad, I wouldn't help him. He got quiet and we made it back home safely. Fast forward 9 weeks later, he has an accident, a big one. He lost control and rolled over hitting a tree right on the driver's side. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital and was discharged a few days ago. During his time in the hospital, he confessed to me that he was distracted by his cell phone, which wasn't surprising. Since he lives by himself, it's been quite difficult to go on with his life. I visit him but I don't help him, and while it does hurt me, I am standing firm with my promise. He got himself into this situation, why should I have to pay for it? On top of that, his family is all over me and quite displeased that I am not over there. Since all of them live miles away from where he is, they can't be there to help him. My boyfriend is understandably angry with me but I can't bring myself to be there for him even after all the warning I told him. So here I am, asking if I ATA here, and if I am, I'll bring myself around and be there for him. Am I the asshole here? Should I help my injured boyfriend after all of this? Your judgment is quite appreciated. Addendum number 1. To his credit, he's been apologetic and thankful for being alive. He cares little about what happened to his car, 2022 Kia Sorento. He has a nurse that comes by to check on him and his parents hired a housekeeper who helps him clean and prepare meals, Addendum number 2. Why hasn't his family been there for him? Both of his parents still work full-time, lawyers, his brother is in college and his sister is 10 years old. They have visited but don't stay too long. I know little about his extended family. His friends visit once in a while, even his former girlfriend, the one before me. They all just visit but don't help, just spend time and leave. Underscore addendum number 3. Been dating him for about 7 months. Give or take a couple of weeks. Underscore. Sounds like a good time to leave him. It could be your life or limbs next time. Not the asshole. What can't understand is why you were riding in a car with him while we watched a race. As others have said, I don't know why you haven't broken up with him. He's not only irresponsible, he is reckless and not concerned about putting others in danger, including you. Yes, he has broken bones, but you could have been in that accident too and you willingly ride with him. You don't have to go be his nurse, he should probably move in with family while he recovers. Sure, he's remorseful now because he's hurt. I don't believe his values have changed. Info. Has he said anything that makes you think he's learned his lesson? Not the asshole. But you are being an asshole to yourself by staying with this guy. What if you had been in the car with him during the accident? What if you have kids with him someday and he is distracted driving and ends up in an accident with the kid in the backseat? And the accident causes the child to be injured, paralyzed, or God forbid, killed. At that point, you would also carry some blame because you have continued the relationship with him and have willingly gotten into a car with him behind the wheel. Next time he is behind the wheel, he could kill someone. Report him to the police as a chronic distracted driver. He shouldn't be allowed to drive. You are the asshole not for not helping him, but for staying with someone who you know their driving could kill them, you or others. I mean, what's your end goal to marry him and have kids that he may kill in a car one day? You know the seriousness of this, but what is the point in not helping him? Just leave him. Either way your relationship will not work long term. He may or may not be showing it now, but his level of resentment towards you must be through the roof. Just break up, you don't have a future together for sure. Not the asshole. It's not like you will trust him to drive your kids ever. Where is this even going? You're punishing him and there's no in sickness and in health. And he may not change his ways, and even if he did, he's going to resent your treatment of him and you won't trust him again anyway. Just say bye and go your own ways. Lol. Am I the asshole for not taking my mom's painting down? I, 19 female, have recently gotten my first apartment. My mom was a pretty good painter and had her own ancient Greece-inspired fantasy setting. One notable thing about her world is that the standards of modesty are a bit different and men and women are more or less equal. She dedicated one painting to me and my brother. It depicts a teenage prince and princess, siblings, sparring or play fighting. They're both completely shirtless, which is intended to evolve classical paintings of Greek myths and reference the previously mentioned different standards of modesty. It's pretty sentimental to me, so it's hanging in the main area of my apartment. With the context out of the way, my mom's parents came over for a visit with my 13-year-old cousin, and I didn't think to move it. My grandma freaked out and called it disgusting. Got really upset that I thought it was okay, and made my cousin sit in the car, and tried to pressure me to hide it. I was upset that she had scolded my grown self in my home, so I refused and we argued. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, it's art, it's yours, and if you want it there then by all means keep it there. You're not the asshole. Your 13-year-old cousin saw a painting that had bare breasts in it? The shock, the horror, the corruption. Granny needs to get the stick out of her ass and accept that her 13-year-old grandchild has already seen much more graphic images in movies and on the internet. Boobs in a painting doesn't merit pearl clutching. Not the asshole. Your grandma is the one harming your 13-year-old cousin by suggesting that a natural, non-sexual depiction of the human body is disgusting. She perhaps just saw the nudity and freaked out. It might be worth trying to have a calm and respectful conversation with her in which you explain the meaning behind the picture and that it isn't intended to be sexual or offensive in nature. You could perhaps draw comparisons with classical art or sculpture in which the women are nude but in a relatively innocent way. This said, if after all of that she is still determined to be offended by it, it would probably be easier just to compromise and move it when she is around. She could well be too old to change her mind on this one, and there is wisdom in the saying, pick your battles. Not the asshole. I'll bet your 13-year-old cousin has seen much worse. There's nothing shaming about displaying art when nudity is part of the art itself. Your grandmother is obviously old-fashioned, but that isn't an excuse to go onto your home and start criticizing. Stand your ground, it's your home and you did nothing wrong. If grandma doesn't like it, she does not have to come. You're not the asshole, but I'm not going to pretend that your mom painting a picture of teenage siblings shirtless isn't weird as hell. Not the asshole. Nudity isn't necessarily sexual. If it can be put into a high school art history book, then it should be fine. Also, that painting sounds badass. Am I the asshole for not letting my sister move in with me when she and her kids were facing homelessness? Here's a little bit of backstory. In 2022, my sister, 22F, had asked if she, her boyfriend, 23M, and her newborn, 6 Malio F, could stay with us for 3 months, which turned into 11 months, until they had gotten their taxes so they could save up and move to another place. My partner and I agreed, 21F and 20M, because it was only going to be a few months and I didn't want them to be potentially homeless with an infant. I had only 3 actual rules. A. Take care of the wood floors. B. Help out with rent when they can. C. No births. My sister stayed home with the baby mostly, while us 3 worked through the day. But soon, so were consistently piles of dishes, dirty diapers, food trash, and just things left around. And they had also spent all their tax money and asked if they could stay longer. After a while, my sister was getting really comfortable with asking me to watch my niece. I would end up watching my niece almost every night, off day for 5 hours. It got to the point where my partner and I couldn't really hang out. Them living with us was starting to have an effect on mine and my partner's relationship at that point. She had gotten prescribed birth control. Shortly after, I started to notice a bunch of ovulation tests in our bathroom. Not long after that appointment, she happily came up to me and showed me a positive pregnancy test. She tried to lie and say that she was too fertile for birth control to work, and said that it was accident. But it was so hard to believe. So then I told them both, they had to leave before that baby was born. When they moved out, her boyfriend literally said to me before they left, "Wow, your house looks trashed." And then left. Their bedroom floors were super sticky, random substance on the walls, and a shit ton of dirty dishes were left for me to clean up. Now, it's been about 1.5 years since they left. And currently, my partner is having some heart issues causing him to be out of work and will need surgery. So I'm riding solo to keep a roof over our head, bills paid, and food in the fridge. My sister called me in a panic, saying that her and her 2 babies that are now toddlers are going to be homeless because she was on a wait list for a rental assistance apartment and that she had done everything she could, and her boyfriend had been having issues keeping a job because he has a felony. And she had asked if she and my niece and nephew could stay with me for a few weeks. But I told her, no. I couldn't take on any more responsibilities than what I already have. That I'm having difficulty keeping up with my own shit. I suggested that they could reach out to her boyfriend's parents and see if they could help in any way. They agreed to let them stay. I called to check up on them, no response, which is very, very unusual for her, and I feel like she may be upset with me. I just frankly have so much going on that I couldn't go through that again. Do not feel bad about saying number. She was supposed to stay only a short while and stayed 11 months last time. You know this would be similar or longer. She's a grown-ass adult. If dad can't keep a job, then he can stay home the babies while she works. You can't afford to feed them in addition to yourself and your partner. I find it so disrespectful that instead of being grateful and cleaning the place and bending over backwards to do chores, that instead they trashed your place. Keep saying no and you're not the asshole. Not the asshole. Her boyfriend doesn't have a problem keeping a job because he has a felony. Once he has a job, all he had to do was his job. She's lying. She lied to you when she was in your house. She and her family disrespected you. They trashed your house. They had no intention of leaving. And they would do exactly the same if given the chance. Good for you for saying no. She probably doesn't want to respond because she's trying to make you feel guilty or you're no longer useful since they found another money train. Not the asshole. She purposely got pregnant when she couldn't afford to take care of the child she already had. It's time for her to grow up. Enjoy the peace. I'm sure she'll be asking for something once his parents kick her out. This was the most disrespectful thing I read all day. Wow, your house looks trashed. This would have sent me over the edge. Never let them come back no matter how much your sister gives you the silent treatment. Not the asshole. You did your turn a couple of years ago. Even if you were privately unprepared to deal with accommodating your sister again, the fact that you literally cannot have them right now is true anyway. Ultimately, she has found an alternative arrangement and isn't homeless. No harm, no foul. Frankly, if your sister is upset with you and choosing not to talk, that might be a blessing in disguise because you'll be better off without her drama for a while. Enjoy the peace. And remember, no is a complete sentence. And with speaking with folks like her, don't jade, justify, argue, defend, explain. It just gives them more ammo to try and browbeat you into giving them what they want.